What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and I got a special guest with me today, Melina Selva, a big Arsenal fan. Melina, how are you doing today?
Hey Dominic, thank you so much for having me on your show today. I wish it was under better circumstances, but we got battered on Saturday, unfortunately.
Well, so far this season, 3 matches, 3 losses, no wins, no goals, of course. You don't even have a goal to show for your goal of the month. And Arsenal are just being a big banter club right now. So, how do you feel about the current situation?
Actually, the current situation isn't necessarily too surprising to me. Ever since Kroenke took ownership of Arsenal Football Club, ever since he bought the club, he didn't really care about the values and the traditions that we cherished at Highbury. When we left Highbury to Emirates, they told us we're competing to be bigger and better. In reality, we've fallen so far behind that we're now 20th place. And, in this transfer window, we spent the most money so far in a Premier League team, but we focused on improving backup dancers rather than our starting 11, and that really comes to show that we haven't spent the money in the right places, addressing the right profile player and the right needs, like a right back, a striker, even a DM we really need, and we're not able to do that now. We're scrapping to get loan deals. We're struggling to sell our players, and our players' value has significantly depreciated to the point where even Willian, who milked money and wages off our club, I have to give my due respects to him because he actually took 20 million less just to leave on a free transfer to his new club. And, that really puts a lot of respect to him. But at the same time, that signing should have never happened in the first place. The signing of Mikel Arteta itself, a very inexperienced manager, kind of like a cone man for Pep Guardiola, your beloved manager who's a man of skill and expertise. Don't get me wrong, Pep does like to overthink games, so I will give his credit when and where it's due. But Mikel Arteta, to get the Arsenal Football Club job, that just shows a new level of low. Coming into the job with a blank CV, no experience whatsoever, and then an inexperienced technical director, an inexperienced CEO as well, along with an owner, an American owner who never goes to games, doesn't care about the fans' voices and opinions. It's come to the point so far down that is there any way even sacking a manager, is that going to save us? Because we've sacked our manager previously twice, and we're still in that same square one shambles that we're in, having to deal with an owner and a board management that don't really connect. There's no link up. There's no communication between the two. And it's almost like they're being a puppet, and the mouthpiece for Mikel Arteta is covering their flaws and the blood on their hands. And the state of our club right now, I'm not surprised we're in this mess because it was bound to happen. And this is worse than Liverpool in 2014 when they were only playing one game a week. We're now only playing one game a week with no European competition. But our signings so far haven't been the greatest signings. Yes, it has improved a bit, but we haven't addressed the key areas we need. And as you know, Dominic, deadline day is tomorrow. We're scrapping to sell players like Hector Bellerin. We're struggling to sell Eddie Nketiah for 12 million, where other clubs have progressed that are below us. Leeds signing Daniel James from Man United, they bought for 15 million, and they've now sold him for 30 million. That's a club that does business. Whereas us, we can't even negotiate a packet of chips.
Yeah. Well said. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is another player you guys are trying to negotiate a deal, to get out of the club, maybe on loan, and it's just some weird business though, and it's harsh on Mikel Arteta and it's harsh on the players. I think it goes higher up. I think the signings that's coming in, it's like it doesn't add up. Aaron Ramsdale, you telling me you could not have gotten a better goalkeeper from maybe Germany? I know you have Leno, but
we could have got Onana, who was just 5 million on the market at the time.
Exactly.
Very great ball distribution, something that Leno fails to do. And we also could have got Onana for the fact that he's a great shot stopper and he plays out from the back, which is what we tried to do and we fail at miserably, which you've seen on Sunday. We were gifting you guys goals, and it was because of our midfield. It was open, it was so far open from that left-hand side. It was very easy for you guys to break through our shambles of a defense.
Is Onana still on a ban though? Is he still
Onana
going?
is still on a ban, so he was worth 50 M's before the case had happened. He's still on a ban, but you can sign him. It's just he cannot train until September, and I believe he cannot play until November, and then you can register him only in that January. I believe that's how
Okay.
that works.
Yeah, but
But
when you,
still, we could have signed him instead of Ramsdale for 30 odd million.
but it's the I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because I want to know the real reason behind Arsenal's decline. And when you look at the fact that Emmy Martinez came back to the club and he was impressive. And when Leno was out and Emmy Martinez had his opportunity when you guys went on to win the FA Cup and all, and it looks like a fluke now. It really looks like a fluke. That was an opportunity to give. That was the moment you could have given Emmy
Number one
Martinez
goalkeeper.
your opportunity and maybe keep both Emmy Martinez and Leno and let them fight for places. You see what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%.
Look at what United are doing with
De
Henderson
Gea
and
and
De Gea.
Henderson.
Healthy competition. Look at Kepa and Mendy. Healthy competition. But what did Arsenal do? Bad decisions. They sold Emmy Martinez to Aston Villa, and look at how good Aston Villa looks. Aston Villa improved from surviving on the last day against Arsenal to actually putting out a stellar performance last season and started the season better than Arsenal. And you could go back to multiple signings. I was actually doing some research on Algeria, and I didn't realize that Ismail Benacer was an Arsenal player. And
Yes,
he's a world beater now.
it's very,
Look
very
at look
good.
look at Serge Gnabry.
Oh my
And
God, that name hurts to hear. It
the
brings
list
Arsenal PTSD because we never gave him a chance. And,
exactly.
speaking of never giving a player a chance, Dominic, players like William Saliba who went out on loan and you promised the kid a start in that starting 11. And you expect me to believe Saliba is not better than Kolasinac, a lamppost at Arsenal Football Club. With all due respect, the guy's very slow at pace, not up to par with Premier League pro footballing standards. Chambers, Cedric, that same back line that we played against Man City, that was the same back line that Arsene Wenger had left behind, saying this is not good enough. You need to improve this defensive back line. Now, mind you, every club has injuries, and COVID is something bound to happen with players. So some of our fan base needs to stop using injuries and COVID that's inevitable as an excuse and a cop out for the flaws from the manager to the board to the owner. And, once we realize that as a fan base, we're so divided on who's the actual blame to this, but I don't think it's just the board or the owner. I think they all take equal blame for it.
I think I'm starting to get to the bottom of this. I think it's bad decisions. The decision making at Arsenal Football Club is poor. And when you think back of what happened with Arsene Wenger, I think the fans asked for it. They begged and they plead for Arsene Wenger to get sacked, Wenger out. But if you look at what Wenger was doing, it's better than what's going on now at the
He was
club.
keeping us in top four, top five, and winning us
Exactly.
FA Cups. But the thing is with Arsene Wenger, I love him so much, and I feel a lot of, our fan base scapegoated him. But to be realistic enough, I think Arsene Wenger stayed a bit too long. He should have left in 2017 after that FA Cup final run. And, leaving it behind, I think him renewing his contract, bringing certain players that we still have, that same defensive back line that I spoke about, Arsene Wenger, too, was the mouthpiece for the board and hiding behind the flaws of the board and the owner. And I think if he had left sooner, we could have fixed this mess up quicker.
Do you think Arsene Wenger, right? I think Arsene Wenger would have done a better job. I think if Arsene Wenger,
100% Arsene Wenger would
yeah,
have done a better job, but I think that ship has long sailed, that Arsene Wenger
yeah,
coming back to Arsenal. I just don't see it realistic. He is an absolutely brilliant manager and, one of the best managers in Premier League football. Sir Alex Ferguson being the best, I would say. But I think Arsene Wenger should have left when he had the chance to earlier in that 2017 period. And I think him staying longer and extending it, you really covered the dirt underground from the Cronkies and the board. And now slowly that's really much so deteriorated and fell apart. We have no structure, just like we have no structure on the pitch. We have no transition. We have no communication that's clear cut to the fans. And myself, as an international fan, these protests have just been falling on deaf ears, Dominic. They haven't been working. And that's because nobody goes to these protests with the same intentions. Some people treat this club and treat match days as a social gathering rather than, actually standing by these players or supporting the club. But how bad do you have to be to realize enough is enough and we need to fix up? Because we're getting left behind. We're in 20th place, Arsenal Football Club. They used to have legends like Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, and now we're in rock bottom. And people are saying it's not going to get any worse than this. You never know, with the state we're in.
Well, look, the thing I was saying about Wenger, right? I know Wenger was at the club for over about 20 years, and
Yeah.
you guys needed something fresh. But maybe you didn't need something fresh. You see what I'm saying? The fans thought that, okay, Wenger out, we need something new. But sometimes that's just not what you needed. And I think Wenger, maybe Wenger leaving eventually would have been a good thing, but he should have left at the right time so he could have actually mold his predecessor. You see what
I
I'm saying?
agree that he left with kind of a bad record, and
Exactly.
we should have held the footprints in for the predecessor to come through. And for a new person like Unai Emery, that appointment itself was a bit shaky. But when Unai Emery came into the job, his game is FA Cups, and we know not only FA Cups but the Europa League is what Emery is known for. That's his game, and Unai Emery, we didn't give enough time to, but I also feel that Unai Emery, because of his barrier with the language, English, he didn't really have an interpreter. Now, I don't know if he refused the interpreter, but I know Bielsa at Leeds, he had an interpreter. It was very easy for them to communicate. Another thing I want to bring up is Arteta lost the dressing room, and it clearly transpires on the pitch to the point where players are now speaking up on their social media, just like today with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, choosing to speak up saying, I want to play for a club that I actually am welcomed in. And, it's not just Ainsley who done that. David Luiz, when he was still at Arsenal Football Club, he had to have an intermediary just to communicate with Arteta. So there was a third person involved between the two for them to communicate. And, Guendouzi and Arteta butted heads a lot. Guendouzi had a young mentality before his wife had given birth. He was very young and immature, but Arteta should be a manager fit enough to handle those hot-headed egos, to keep the dressing room together and to keep those personalities together and linked up. But, that itself was the caliber of his downfall.
But it goes back again, Melina. Decision making.
Extremely poor.
In life, if you make the wrong decisions, bad things are going to happen to you. Arsenal Football Club put a premature baby in charge of their team, basically, if you really think about it.
Yes.
Because Arteta needed to go maybe in the second division of Spain and manage one of those clubs. You see what I'm saying? Manage a championship team or League One or League Two team just to get a feel of things, just to get some experience. But being the backup man, being the assistant manager at Man City and just speaking in Pep's ears and just writing down some notes, I don't think that qualifies you for the Arsenal job. And I think Arsenal did get lucky. It started off really hot. He was doing some really good things, won the FA Cup and all, but he got exposed very, very fast.
Yes.
And that's what always happens. If you're not qualified for something, yeah, you could get lucky and get a hot streak, go on a purple patch or something like that. But on the long run, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your stamina levels start to wane, and then people start to figure you out and be like, yo, he's not that good, You see what I'm saying? And it goes back to the decision to even appoint him. So sometimes you can't even blame Arteta. You can't even blame the players. You have to blame who's really running things. And I think that guy Edu, he's not making some good decisions, because Why are you guys signing David Luiz from Chelsea? Why are you signing Willian from Chelsea? Why are you signing Cedric and he's hardly playing? Bellerin, he was supposed to be sold when interest came in for Bellerin.
Yes, we
when
kept him.
when PSG
And we kept him to pursue his value. And now we can't even get small millions for him. Little to nothing we can't get. That's the whole thing of, keeping players because you think these players are worthy when they said themselves, I have no more interest to play for Arsenal Football Club, yet you're kind of in a way holding them hostage. I don't know. Bellerin openly said, I've had mental health issues. I'm no longer interested to play for Arsenal Football Club. There was offers last year and years before that to sell him, and we kept him onwards. After that injury he had, he's never been the same player, and we knew that. But this club refused to see the light and refused to see the truth. And it's come to a point where even fans like myself know the situation, know the reality of it, but the owners are blinded by it. And it's not just the owner, it's the manager, the board. They all suck up to one another.
It goes back to decision making again.
Yes.
Granit Xhaka. When Granit Xhaka's relationship with the fans broke down, Granit Xhaka, when there was interest from Roma said, give him to me, I'll take him. What did Arsenal go and do? Renew his contract. It makes no sense. Look
and
at the
we renewed his contract, and then you're trying to tell me you're trying to go back to a 3-4-3 style of play, and then you bring it out saying you don't know how to integrate Granit Xhaka into that squad. Granit Xhaka is supposed to be a leader on the pitch, but he doesn't demonstrate leadership when you're constantly doing 2-foot tackles that are going to get you sent off and red carded.
Exactly.
Where is that adult mentality on the pitch?
How many captains you see get sent off?
Yes.
Hardly, because a captain's supposed to be out there marshalling his troops, not doing the craziest things on the field. And as I said, when the opportunity came for Bellerin, you should have sold Bellerin. The opportunity came for Granit Xhaka. Roma wanted him. You heard Fabrizio Romano talking about it all the time. Arsenal said, you know what, we're going to give you a new contract. There's better players out there. There's Yves Bissouma doing the business
quality
at Brighton. Why not sell Xhaka, take the money, and buy an Yves Bissouma? I know Ben White is a quality defender. I know he's a quality defender. We could have kept
Saliba, though, and we didn't need to spend the 55 M's on Ben White. And we know English tax is very prominent in this transfer window. This transfer window is like a FIFA transfer window. We'll probably never see something like this. But Ben White for 55 million when we had Saliba with 3 years left of his contract. And that kid never touched grass for Arsenal Football Club.
Exactly.
It really shows that we don't care. And, that money spent, we could have addressed it on a right back like Max Aarons. We could have got Basuma. And the only thing I say that we did good in this transfer window that I'll speak up to is Sambi Lukonga. That 21-year-old.
He looked good.
Really good. Looks calm, confident on the ball, not afraid to take the chances. Martin Odegaard.
What did he do against City? Didn't he drop?
No, he didn't do anything. He dropped because
he dropped him.
Yeah, he dropped. And Arteta dropped him, even though Sambi Lukonga had a really good game. We don't know why he was dropped. That whole starting lineup itself, I looked at and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a train wreck. You have defenders in there. We didn't even know the style of play you're trying to do. And in fact, I think he didn't even know himself. There was defenders in that back line, like I told you, that shouldn't have even been at Arsenal Football Club still to this day. They should have been moved on a long time ago. And our midfield, that midfield partnership was just so awful that everything had to go through Kieran Tierney or Saka, and everybody's relying on these two players to carry the team when there's no link-up play, no dynamism, no communication whatsoever, and you expect us to finish in that final third? We didn't even have much chances to finish. You guys ripped us apart, but let alone there was nothing for you guys to rip us apart with. In a way, you guys were playing in second gear. You didn't even have to unload to first gear. That's how easy it was to tear our defense apart and our midfield.
Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on the problem behind Arsenal's downfall. But before we finish off today, we've established that Arteta is not the right man for the job, right?
You're gonna ask me who are we gonna bring in? Oh my God.
He's like, Arteta Arteta at Arsenal is like Lampard situation at Chelsea, right? So with Lampard getting sacked, Tuchel coming in, winning the Champions League, who do you identify as a perfect replacement that could turn this Arsenal Football Club around? Arsenal needs a 360 because they're on the head. They're on the head right now. They're on the
Yeah.
head. They're on the head, and the head is in the mud right now. Basically, who do you identify is the man that could turn Arsenal Football Club
So
around?
a realistic signing, a lot of people are saying they want Conte, but Conte, although he led Chelsea to a very good victory, he's a very great manager. But Conte is the type of manager who demands his players, his board, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he's not going to touch the job. Although Conte has been linked as an option, if Mikel Arteta was to get sacked, I think I would take Ten Hag or even Eddie Howe. It's come to a point where I feel they will do better. I know Mark Overmars wants to be a director.
Wait.
Yes.
I forgot Eddie Howe was out there.
Yeah, he's still out there on the market.
I forgot he was out there, man.
I
Ooh.
generally feel Zidane would not touch Arsenal Football Club. I don't see that happening.
I forgot Zidane was out there too.
Yeah, he's still unemployed. So
Yeah.
I think Allegri is still available, but Allegri's learned English just to refuse the Arsenal job,
But
probably.
Remember Allegri went back to Juventus, right? Yeah. Remember?
Okay, yeah, so he's not available anymore.
Yeah, they sacked Pelo and they brought
Yeah,
back
so
Allegri.
he's no longer available. He wouldn't have come anyway. I don't think so. Like I said, he would have. I think he learned English just to refuse the Arsenal job. But I would go for Ten Hag. He's experienced. He's someone who has the experience from Ajax. The Ajax experience from Overmars. I would take. Much better upgrade than Edu. And, I think that would be a good partnership, Ten Hag and Mark Overmars. Mark Overmars has expressed interest today itself that he wants to come and fix things up. But everybody can say they could have won a should have, but when is it actually going to happen? Is Arteta going to be sacked? That comes down to whether Cronkies will drop their ego and finally pull the plug and accept that they've messed up. That's what this comes down to, bottom line.
You mentioned Overmars.
Yes.
You mentioned Ten Hag.
Yes.
I don't know if they'll actually take the job.
No, I really don't know too.
But this brings us to your North London enemies, your arch rivals,
Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur.
My gosh. Just hearing that name makes me. They're right? First in the Premier League right now.
Look, like it or not, Tottenham Hotspur are doing the opposite of what Arsenal are doing right now. The complete opposite. They have scored goals, 3 goals.
No, they won 3 games in 3.
Yeah, 3 wins. They're on top of the table while Arsenal are down at the bottom. And hear this. You're going to love this. They have Nuno, a new manager.
Yeah.
And they have that Italian guy, Patrici or something his name is, as their new sporting director. Yes. And you see the business that Spurs are doing?
Yeah, they're doing bits. And I hate to say it. I can't believe I'm saying this on camera, but they are doing bits. I don't think they'll be top 4. I think they'll drop. You never know, but I will give them credit when and where it's due because they have done business this transfer window. Getting new players, Romero, a very good signing for them. Keeping Harry Kane, that link up with Kane and Son is irreplaceable. Not just them, but Regulion has really improved a lot. Tanganga has done really well. 3-3 for them. Like, that's shocking. They're known as bottlers, yet we're the one bottling everything.
And look at what they actually did some business today. They brought Emerson Royale from Barcelona.
from Barca. Yeah.
Yep, and Emerson is a quality right back. I'm surprised Barca actually sold him after just buying him back from Betis.
So we were linked with Emerson, and it was supposed to be
he chose Tottenham.
It was supposed to be a Hector Bellerin plus 10 million swap deal.
Yeah.
But they wanted 20 M's on the table, and of course we refused to do that. Now, with that being said, I believe personally in terms of player profile and pedigree, that Max Aarons is a better right back, Premier League proven, experienced
but the
than
thing too,
Emerson.
Before you continue with that, it's the English tax as well.
Yes, yes, 100%.
You've already exhausted about
Yes, in
80,
English
no,
tax.
75 million on English tax.
Yes,
You saw Bayern Munich just bought Marcel Sabitzer
yes,
from RB Leipzig for 16 million. This is criminal.
yeah.
This is
The
absolutely
market is
criminal.
ridiculous. Another thing I want to mention is we've really struggled to offload players from our books. Instead of offloading our deadwood, we're giving them new contracts. Whereas Chelsea Football Club, the way they're run, they've got so much money from Zappa Costa, Tammy
Yep.
Abraham going away.
Victor Moses as well.
Moses, yes. This club is
Bakayoko, you
doing
name
this.
it.
They've got money from Bakayoko today. This club is working wonders, but their fans are still a bit ungrateful that they're not getting a midfielder as of now. But look at that football club and how it's run. Marina is brilliant in what she does. And we have incompetent people from the top to the bottom. And it comes back to what we discussed earlier. A lack of decision-making and a lack of experience doesn't come hand in hand with running a football club the way it's supposed to be.
Melina, you deserve better, man. You deserve better. But,
Yeah.
just
Long time suffering.
Yeah. Stay optimistic. Brighter days ahead. Look, last question before you go. Great question I have for you. What could make Arsenal Football Club great again?
Taking us back to Highbury and giving back all the invincible players that played with us, giving us a new starting 11, a new manager, a new owner. It's a dream, but it will never happen. Maybe in FIFA.
I was just about to say FIFA career mode. You know what I'm saying? You play FIFA?
Oh my gosh, I used to. Yeah, I was Division 3. I played really, really well.
Yeah, you need to, it's good. It's good. It doesn't matter how older you get because
no, it's really relaxing.
Yeah, I'm 34 years old. I'm not scared to say my age, and I love playing FIFA.
You can take your frustrations and stress.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. But
what stress do you have? You're Man City, gonna win everything.
Exactly. I don't have a lot to stress about. Apart from losing a Champions League.
No, you're stressing about how many trophies you're gonna win this season.
I'm actually stressing about if Ferran Torres could actually win the Golden Boot ahead of Kane and Ronaldo and Lukaku. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm contemplating.
I'm actually really happy for Lukaku. Like the way he was treated at Man United, he did good at Everton in his early days, but the way he was treated and disrespected by certain Man United fans. I'm happy for him to come back to the Premier League and hopefully come for Drogba's throne. But he looks really agile, really lean too. Conte had him working well.
Yeah. Maybe Arsenal should have went in for Mikel Antonio, man.
Mikel Antonio is amazing.
Listen, there's the bottom line, there's players, but there's something rotten at the core of Arsenal. They're not making the right decisions. They're not making the right calls. And you see the result. Bottom of the table. If things continue like this, it could get really, really ugly. Mikel Arteta sacked soon. Some players would be frozen out of the team. And we don't want it to happen. But if Arsenal continue like this, they can get relegated. They could get relegated.
Oh my God, just hearing that name hurts.
Melina. Hamburg was a great German club. Werder Bremen, FC Köln, they all got relegated recently because of bad decision making, and who's ever running the club has not been doing a great job. But look, tell the people where they can find you. And
thank you so much, Dominic, for having me on your channel today. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was in better circumstances, but unfortunately, that's not the case with Arsenal Football Club. Enjoy the signing of Jack Grealish, brilliant player. What can I say? Hopefully you guys retain the Premier League, but I don't mind if you guys bottle it.
Yeah, but it would be better if we win it than Chelsea, right?
Exactly.
That's your London rivals, of course.
Yeah,
exactly.
Of course. No, you can find me at Miss Melina on YouTube. I do Arsenal and Fantasy Premier League content. I really enjoyed doing the stream today. I wish it was in better circumstances, but this is the reality of the state we're in, and we're probably going to be in this mess for a long time.
Thank you very much, man. It was a pleasure doing this with you. Hopefully, we could do something again, and only if Arsenal are in a better state. You see what I'm saying? I want to see you smiling for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video if you like it. All Melina's info will be in the description box down below. From your boy Dominic Rich. I have this thing that I say. I'm weird. You know what I'm saying? I say thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace. All right. That was nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show. That was really nice.